Hello Gadgeteers, this is Dit from the Retro Gadgets team. I'm very proud to present you our latest release, the Early Access Update 0.1.6, also known as the Launcher Update. This new version is full of awesome features, so let's start from the main one, the Launcher itself. In the previous releases, you could already use your gadgets as widgets on your desktop. You could do that simply by pressing F11. The game would go in widget mode, place your gadget at the center of your Windows desktop, and the gadget would be fully functional. You could move it around, and then that's it. You couldn't have more than one gadget. There was no control over the positioning, the scale of the rendering. It was more like a proof of concept than an actual feature. This is why we now have a Launcher app. And the Launcher app is a separate application that runs in your system tray when you close Retro Gadgets. Right-clicking your Launcher icon will display the list of gadgets that you have added to your Launcher. For every gadget you have a bunch of options. The most important is the one that allows you to launch every one of these gadgets at the same time if you want. So we have the calculator, we have the note and help desk excuses gadget. We can have the Tamagotchi gadget. We can have the Pomodoro timer. Maybe we also want the MP3 player, which uses a bunch of new features that we have added to this release. And every one of these gadgets is running at the same time. So you see the timer is going, we can play, we can feed the dog here, we can do calculations, we can generate more excuses for our IT help desk. And for every one of these gadgets, we also have some extra options like the rendering size, the ability to be rendered always on top, and the ability to be launched at the startup of your system. Maybe you want the excuses for the IT help desk ready all the time. They are very useful. Some gadgets use your internet connection or your webcam, so before these gadgets can run as widgets, you must give them permission to use these systems. If you don't, these options are disabled by default for security reasons, but if you want to let the gadget use the webcam or the connection, you have to allow them to do that in the permission options. You can turn off every gadget and they disappear, and when you don't want to use the launcher anymore, you can exit from the launcher and every gadget will be closed at the same time. The launcher itself will be activated when you close Retro Gadget, only if you have at least one gadget assigned to the launcher. Adding a new gadget to the launcher is very easy. You just have to select the gadget, and in the new launcher menu, you can select Add to Launcher. After you confirm, the gadget will be added to your launcher interface. In addition to the old tutorial and starter kit gadgets, we have a bunch of new gadgets from Mavica, which are brand new and use all the new features that we are added with this new patch. So you can just click on them, print them, and use them as widgets, or if you want, look inside and see how they work. To help you build better widgets for your computer, we improved the capabilities of our reality chip. The reality chip is a special component that we have that allows you to access information from your real computer. One important feature that was missing, for instance, was the ability to read time. Now we have this, and you can get the time of your computer, so you can build all kind of different clocks for your computer. But this is a small feature. One big important feature that we have added is the ability to read files from a special directory in your hard drive. A special directory inside the Retro Gadget folder for security reasons, of course. But for instance, this is an MP3 player that reads MP3 files from a specific directory of your computer. So if you go to the Gadget archive, it will open up a window that shows you the Retro Gadget special directory where you have the cutting mats, all the gadgets, the exported files and stuff like that. And you have now a user data folder. In the user data folder, you have all the MP3s that we have now playing here. You can make other directories here, you can do whatever you want. User data is a safe space where you can access files. So right now we support only audio files and image files, but we're planning to support more type of data in future releases. Another awesome new feature is the ability to connect with devices using the serial port. I say devices and not gadgets because this little component here allows you to connect to an actual serial port in your computer, so something in the real world. Let me do the switch real quick. So everything you can build in the real world that can send and receive data through a serial port, you can use it with Retro Gadgets now. So yeah, try not to blow up anything important. Another important feature is that we are starting to support more languages in our editor. So before we just had English and Italian, and now we have a bunch of new languages for you to try. Starting from this release, now all our screen components are touch screens. So once you connect the screen with a video chip, you can now get information about the touch state, the touch position, and so on. And this will allow you to create a lot of interesting gadgets. Like now, this was a very simple test that I did before, but for instance, if you print from the starter kit in the tutorial section, the sticky note gadget, this is a very interesting gadget that uses the touchscreen and will allow you to draw whatever you want and use it as notes in your desktop if you use it as a widget. So have a look inside and see how this works. So one last feature that I wanted to show you, and this will be very interesting for those of you that are into rendering, is our new render buffer and the ability to read and write pixels directly on those render buffers. So in this simple animation that I've made, I'm using a render buffer to draw basically the scene upside down to simulate the reflex underwater. Okay, so this is a very, very simple thing. But I'm sure you could do a lot more interesting things with this new system. You can find more information in the documentation, and so yeah, I can't wait to see what you create. And with this, this concludes my presentation of all the new features. Again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all your support during these months of development in early access. Your feedback, your suggestion helped us a lot in making the game so much better. So thank you again, and we can't wait to show you the new feature that we are preparing in the next few months. Bye.